Okay, so what are we doing now, Jonas?
Right now we're going to run some simulations, see how Variance impacts sports bettors,
Yeah.
and see if it's a fair world we're living in and betting in, or what's happening here.
Yeah.
So what I decided to start out doing is looking at a fixed bet size. I used the odds of 2.2, and because that's what you told me is like the average odds for Trademate customers.
Yeah.
And I put in the return is 2.52. So that means, this is just simulations. We're just putting in here that we're making 2.52% on every single trade we're making.
Yep.
And we're going to see how that is going to impact the variance.
Exactly.
So I'm putting in 400 bets a month, which is like a very doable, or 400 bets, which I think is a very doable trade per month.
Yeah, I mean, when I was actively using Trademate, I probably got in 100 bets per week, and I was using like 6 hours.
Yeah.
So that is a very casual user, I would say.
Yeah. I've also put in a starting bankroll of 1,000. I'm just calculating here what's the risk of losing 90% of your bankroll. And let's see how it runs. So we're going to do a simulation here. Underneath there, we're going to get 20 random samples. So this is just, let's say, 20 customers.
Yeah.
And we'll see how they are all affected by variance in a different way. On average, the average ending bankroll would then be 1,200 on this simulation. But of course, according to EV, you should be making 250. If you're staking, because you're going to be staking. Yeah, I'm not going to do that math in my head. I'm going to use a calculator so I don't end up looking like a fool. You're going to be staking 10,000 a month, and your average earning is going to be 0.252. So that means you're going to be, on average, in EV, making 252, and your bankroll should be then 1,252 if it was possible.
Yeah.
Over a small sample, of course, it's going to be over 20 simulations. Your average ending bankroll will therefore be different to this. But in theory, that's going to be your bankroll. But it's interesting when you run all these different simulations. I've never seen it average ending bankroll being above though. Anyways, let's continue with this and see. So what we can see regardless is like the chances of losing in a month is close to 30%.
Yes, and this is with a built-in edge or ROI of 2.52% against the bookmaker.
That's correct. And chances of losing 90% of your bankroll is even like 2%.
Yeah, so it's quite low, but it does happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is really sucks if you are that bottom 2%, but it can happen, and that's something people should be aware about.
Yeah. So moving on, we can change, or we can go to, let's simulate 2 months, see how big of a change it is. It goes from 30% to 25% to loss at the end. And the more sims we run, we're going to see, okay, it seems to be about 24-25% chance of losing even after 2 months. If we increase that to, let's say, 2,400, so half a year, it's going to be cut in half and go down to like 11% chance.
So you're saying the more trades we're placing, the better chance that variance evens out.
That's correct, yeah. And you see the average ending bankroll is basically increasing with 1,200 and 250 every single month. And again, if you do a year, the chances of loss at the end is getting now close to 0.
Yeah.
And there we can see
why is the chance of 90% loss so big? Because that kept on increasing as we increased the simulations.
I think, could that mean if you go to 0, you're out? In a way.
That's quite possible.
But
yeah, so then it would sort of count everyone.
So it's counting everyone that gets into that percentage.
So does that mean? But it's.
If you make it out.
But I don't think this is run correctly, because I think then they would maybe also allow you to place bets if you're in minus. But again, this is why we also don't recommend a fixed staking strategy. And I would much rather prefer to use a variable one. So if you instead look here and let's say we're going to still... Is that going to be correct? bet to win, it's about, you're staking about 2% on your bankroll. If you do this, then it's bet to win 25.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, I'd say that's a bit high risk in general. But
yeah. Let's see if they agree or not.
Yeah, I mean, it totally depends on like your preference too. And yeah, let's try some different stuff there too, to see like 2.5%.
Because this is also given that the odds is 2.2.
Yeah.
I think the higher the odds you have, the higher the variance is going to be also.
Yeah, for sure.
So with the variable one, we see we have 0% chance of losing 90% in 1 month, but the chances of losing end of the month is increasing. And you can see that's like, it's very common. However, we can also see the average ending bankroll was slightly higher than what we first simulated.
Yeah, and also there's no, like, regardless of how they're counting it, there's 0% chance of a 90% loss.
Yeah. If you're increasing it to, let's go to half a year, just to like see the big difference. Because here we had the average ending bankroll of like 2.5K, or just under 2.5K in these simulations. Here it's going to be about 1,000 difference. And we see some people, or one lucky guy is usually the one who's going to be able to go on a really good run. Here we can see a lot of people goes on a good run. We have someone who is like not lucky, 1%, or 1% chance of losing 90%. But still we're looking at 28% of people not making money. So you might ask like, well, with the average ending bankroll being $1,000 higher, still the chances of losing is higher. And the reasoning for that must be that, well, if you go on a run, as you can see here with the purple one, he goes on a great run. He's like starting with 1,000, now he's up to like 15,000. And then he goes, well, it's hard to see in all of this, but here he definitely goes down to around 5,000 before he goes up to 8, down, and then all of a sudden he catches a run again. So when your staking strategy varies that much, it's really hard to avoid the variance. Because when you have 10,000, you're no longer betting like $20, you're betting like $200.
Yeah.
And when you're up to like 20,000, you're going to be betting like $500. So obviously like the variance is going to really kick in. And you never know like when you're going to run out of luck in a way. Of course, like you're going to lose bets. The question is just how many are you going to lose before you start winning them again. And as long as you're putting yourself in a position to get lucky, which means like you're expected to earn money, your EV graph is just going to increase and your earnings is just going to fluctuate above and below it.
Yeah. And I also like to point out that, you know, most people would sort of quit if they have like this big swing that you see here with the big peak and then everything starts going down again.
Yeah.
But yeah, even this guy like pops back up again towards the end.
Yeah.
And ends up sort of at a higher point. So it's just, it will be a bumpy ride most likely. And that's something you just need to be like mentally prepared for.
Well, that's what's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
The number that interests me the most is the median ending bankroll.
Yeah.
So people might think I've been trading for 6 months, which 2,400 trades is a very casual amount of bets if you're trading for 6 months using Trademate, and be thinking, well, I've only made 850 profit from that amount of trades.
Yeah.
Can you kind of like explain the importance of having a higher starting bankroll, if like, because it is and how the staking strategy works?
Well, we can start if we increase the bankroll to 5,000. Like you would think then your median bankroll would be 5 times 1,852. Is that that? So that means it should be 926, and I think that's what we're expecting to see. But let's see if we run multiple ones. It's not. Any idea why it's not?
Isn't median just the most common?
Median's the middle number.
Middle number.
Okay.
So it's like a 10th or 11th.
So the thing is like what they wouldn't account for is So median is that like if you're like doing this,
It means like what is it, 20 samples?
but it can't be just 20 samples, because if it was 20 samples, this would fluctuate every time we run a new simulation.
Oh, I thought you said each simulation was running off 10.
Oh, now
20 random
this was the
samples.
first time it had a different one. So I run so many different to start with.
So it means like the middle person out of
Yeah.
all the 20 random samples, that's what their results would be.
Yeah, but like let's look at this for example. Here we have one person who is able to he's starting with 5,000, and within half a year, given these things, all of a sudden he's up to like almost 600,000. And if you look at what happened to him just before here, he's also up to 600, drops down to like 250, and then bounces back up again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
This
insane.
is kind of like when you lost 250k in a day.
Yeah, like it goes up and down. But as long as you're certain that you're doing the right thing and that you're having an edge, it doesn't really impact you in the long run, because as you can see also, it's going to go up and it's going to go down again. It's going to go up, and then it's kind of like we used to refer to in poker, like as long as you have an edge in poker, if you look at your graph, it kind of looks like you're climbing a mountain.
Yeah.
It's going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up.
But it's still heading in the right direction.
Still heading for Mount Everest, even though you're at just like the second base camp. So
sometimes you need to go back to get more supplies. And then,
exactly. But then as you increase the bet size, I mean, this graph is just going to start looking ridiculous, because there's no way you're going to be able to place these bets. Now you have an average ending bankroll of almost $1 million in after 10,000 bets, like an active year of trading.
this is why bookmakers limit winning players, I guess.
Yeah, because if not, or also they have betting limits, because if not, but like, how much is this guy up to? Is this 15 million or is it 1.5?
I think it's 15.
Yeah,
It looks absolutely insane.
I'm not that good with the big numbers. Yeah, it probably is, because here you see it's at like, no, it's probably 1.6.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just like everyone else see there like what you can expect is to be around this level, and then if you happen to be one of the lucky persons out there, you can like really make a killing out of this. But again, you got to be lucky, and even after a full year of trading, there is a 12% chance you're gonna end up losing.
Yeah.
And being one of those 10 people, you're gonna ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? This is clearly not working, right? Because you're gonna just be frustrated. Or even here, half of the people losing is gonna be losing like 90% of their initial starting bankroll. But of course, let's say whenever you lose half of your bankroll, given that you're starting with, if you're starting with 1,000 and you're putting in a lot of time here, it really depends what kind of investments you want to do.
Yeah.
But we can see here, like if the average ending bankroll is 1 million, that's like 200x almost of your starting bankroll. How many other places in the world can you like 200x your money in 1 year?
Not a lot of players.
Don't forget to factor in the monthly subscription though, mate. That'll bring it right the way down.
All right, so let's say
For all the skeptics out there.
let's say you take and you pay that 120 out of your own pocket and don't touch your investment money. It's still like 965, so we're almost like, I would say it's still pretty acceptable. but at the same time, what I would advise people to do is, you don't have to put it in like money you cannot afford to lose. If you can afford, always try to put in like whatever money you'd like to invest into your bankroll. As long as you're following a staking strategy, it's okay. But it's high risk, and it's like, as you can see, there's no guarantee you're gonna make money, even though we will be here guaranteed, like or not guaranteed, but the average expected would be to end up with 72k.
Yeah.
Which is still like 14xing your money in 1 year, which is insane.
It's funny because you can look at it this way and say that like there's a 6.6% chance that you're going to lose $4,500.
Yeah.
Or there's an average chance of what most people will do, and they'll make $967,000.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is if you're a very like pessimistic, not very like optimistic person.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to look at that 6.6% chance.
But again, this is over 20 simulations though.
Yeah.
So this is just doing 20, but I mean, we can sit here and we can click and we can see like all these different graphs, or if other people wants to do it, go to sportbettingcalcs.com. It's free to use and it's just very simple to put in different stats or...
Just do one with 3,000 as the starting bankroll, just because I want to look at what the numbers are, because obviously you're not going to be able to get to the million on the soft books as they do limit. I just want to see if some of the good case scenarios here are like, okay, the average ending is still like 540k.
Yeah. Thanks to this one guy, you see, he was basically he was doing well, but he wasn't doing that well up until here.
Dragging up the average. Yeah, the median is 42. Yeah.
So
which is still incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's very. I mean, it's too early to come to any conclusion after a couple of months. If you do here, this could very easily be 1 month of betting. Like you said, Alex, you're doing 1,000 or 250 trades a week. So you should be able to do over 1,000 trades. And this is just after 1 month, you should then be able or expected to make about 2K. So that's almost doubling your money, even though you're still like almost flipping whether you're going to be down at the end. Because if you're down at the end, you're going to be down marginal. Well, you see here 70% chance of being down 10% or almost doubling your money.
Yeah.
And if you say here, yes, you have within 95% certainty, going to go from losing almost 80%. No, that's not 80. That's 40%. 60%. 60% or 4xing your money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the chance I would be willing to take. And
so I think that's sort of one of the things people need to factor in is, are you willing to take that risk that you could be down 60% of your money there versus 4xing it?
Yeah.
And there is the 37% chance that you're going to be at a loss at the end of the 1,000 trades.
Yeah, and it's just, you see all the graphs have one thing in common: they go up, they go down, they go up, they go down.
Yeah.
And it can be like, you can feel like big stretches here where you, like this guy, for example, 3x's over 3x's his money, then it goes down to, is it like 6k-ish, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, and it's frustrating. You're gonna be like, I know how it is, you're putting in the work, you're expecting to make money, doing everything right, and then it's just, some days it's your days, some other days it's not your days.
I also think there's there are people who come to me and they say, this is my graph, I'm the purple graph here, and I'm here right now, and I just had a terrible downstretch, and then they ask me, hey Marius, what should I change? So should they change something? Or I guess what is really showing is, you should just stick to the process, because you just need to get in more trades to even out the variance.
As long as you're happy with what their filter looks like that they're not like betting 1% edges, and they're closing EV and everything looks great, they're staying to like the leagues we're more confident in, and then just keep on grinding. And
what's your view on some of the smaller leagues then, and if you find like marginal edges there, like a 1%, for example?
I mean, first of all, I don't know how accurate those markets are at any given time. Like, we never know if any markets are accurate, but what we've seen over millions of trades is that it's returning a profit. So we must say that we're pretty confident now that the market is a true reflection of the actual price.
Yeah.
And of course, sometimes you're going to get team news going against you, other times they're going to come with you. But in the long run, I mean, we've been keeping up a 2.5% return now over how many trades?
2.3 million, so
yeah. If you see here. Oh, look at that sexy man. Yeah, so I mean, I would say we can be pretty confident about what we're doing is profitable, and And yeah, it's simply like as long as people put in and follow whatever filters that you recommended, it's going to be returning profits in the end.
Yeah, no guarantee, but that's just what we've seen in the the simulations. But yeah,
and that's also why.
Yeah, it is like even a built-in theoretical profitable strategy can end up with giving a losing result just because of variance. That's sort of the big takeaway from all of this.
Yeah, and like as you say here, like if people are not making profits, you're also returning them their subscription fee.
We don't return the subscription fee, but if you don't make a profit within the first month of using Trademate, you get a second month for free.
Exactly, and that's going to happen to like 36% of the people.
Yeah.
So if you then increase it to 2 months, okay, maybe some can also get the third month for free. But you see also like it's more like, okay, you know, we're confident about what we're doing, and it's a risk we're willing to take, and hopefully like you just stay confident and keep on grinding and believe in us.
Yeah.
So guess we'll have to see where it goes from here, and hopefully a lot of you will be happy and some of you will go on those insane runs we can see here.
Yeah. One thing I wanted just to see if it's possible is to use a negative edge.
Yeah.
Because that would be a lot of fun too. Because, you know, bookmakers have a built-in margin.
Yeah.
So if you're just betting...
So how do you want to simulate this though?
I guess we need to use a fixed stake size for that one.
Yeah.
And I think the odds is okay. Starting bankroll, let's just do 1,000.
Yeah.
And just another point out that a lot of people read on the website and they see the stake, the starting bankroll is listed there, and that is the minimum, which is 1,000. Like one should never go below 1,000. And like the more money you have and are able to sort of put into it, the larger the potential returns that it's possible to achieve. So
yeah. But also like it depends on people's financial status. Like how much do they actually want to start with? Yeah,
and never do anything. You never use money you can't afford to lose. I think that's important, whether it's Trademate or stocks or whatever you put money into.
Yeah. Okay. So here we see starting with 1,000, and even with the negative return, you can see some of them are making profits.
Yeah.
And are you trying to say like this is actually the graphs of a bookmaker betting against Trademate users and how they're going to look like?
No, I mean, my main point was just if you are just following a tipster or doing your own like betting on the teams you think are going to win and all of that, I just sort of want to see how that plays out over time.
Yeah. So as you can see here though, like this is over like after 7,000 trades, knowing he's losing 2.5% per bet. This guy has still been able to double his money or 2.5x his money over 7,000 bets.
Yeah.
But you can also flip it upside down and you can see like, okay, even if you're like, as the bookmaker, they can't be too result or they are going to be result oriented, but they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because they can also get like lucky and
people who are lucky but have no clue what they're doing.
Yeah.
And look at the numbers now. Now it's like the median ending bankroll is 263, average ending is 389, and then the chance of loss at the end is 92%, and chance of 90% loss is 99%. So yeah.
But I don't think the simulator is correct, because I think it should be if you get to 0, you're wiped out.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's like it lets you bet stake it whenever you're at 0, and if you lose, you're not losing any money, but you're still able to bet it.
Yeah.
So let's say if it says chance of losing 100% if you bankroll. Yeah. So basically 98.62% is going to lose, and when you lose, then you're out, I guess. So I guess this is a better simulation to run.
All right, so most people who just do like their own casual betting are not gonna make it to like 10,000 bets, or at least like that's a lifetime of bets probably.
Yeah.
So let's just run 100 and run 1,000 just to sort of see what the results look like then.
But so this is only risking 16 though. So let's say you're risking to win 30, so you're risking 25, then you have 40 bets kind of.
Yeah.
That you can afford to lose. still like just after 1,000 bets, like you're gonna lose 40 bets or units over half of the time.
And the chance of loss at the end is 75%. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So this is what most people are doing looks like, and yeah, it's not looking good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, something we also spoke about is like, what if we increase the odds? Let's increase it to 350. That's like somewhat common odds, right? So we're doing a variable. Now we're betting to win 2% or 2.5%. We're betting to win 25. Starting with 1,000, or we can start with, what did we run most sims on? 3,000, 5,000, or 1,000?
Let's just do 3,000. I guess, okay, for comparison, I guess 1,000 and 5,000 is the best.
Okay. So this is 1,000. I'll just do a casual month, 400. So if you look at like with a year, it seems to be, of course, I think the issue here is that our staking is only then going to be 10 euros to start with. So it's a lot lower staking. Your turnover is lower and your expected return is the same. So it's just going to be less variance to start with. And then, of course, if you go on a run, you're going to be able to stake more, and then it's going to show more. But chances of losing on a monthly basis is slightly higher. It was about 36%. Now it's at 42%. So the higher the odds is, basically the higher the variance is.